Welcome back to Morning Bell. Today in studio we have Mr. Martin Wong of TradersTruthReveal.com to be with us to talk about more on the Security Commission new guideline. But before that, let's go back to our second topic about CPO.
CPO, that's right.
Now, recently CPO has caught the attention in the market with the price crashing down from 4,000 ringgit per ton to about 2,252 ringgit,
yep.
Quite low. Now that really sent alarm bells everywhere. Now there are two factors to it. One, maybe the expansion is fast. Second, maybe there is excess inventory. Now let's attack on the point of excess inventory, why this has happened.
Now, we've been seeing a lot of glut. Now, if you look at the inventory, traditionally CPO inventory has always been around 1.2 to 1.5 million tons.
Okay.
Right? But with the recent report that came out, we are most close to 2.2 and 2.3 million.
Is it because consumption has come down around worldwide?
Yeah, it is. We've been getting a flat demand, especially from China and India. We were expecting more, with this coming, the past Hari Raya, but we didn't have it. Now, what is important? Let me just take your attention. A couple of years back, when CPO prices hit around 4,207.
2009, 2008?
2007, right?
Okay.
So every entrepreneur is saying, hey, the CPO price is so high, why don't you buy a piece of land in somewhere and start planting?
Replanting it 5 years ago.
Exactly.
And now it's fruit.
Yeah, that's why it's fruitation. Now,
fruits.
typically, plants take to fruit about 4 to 5 years.
5 years, correct.
So that's why we have so much inventory.
Supply.
So much supply. Now, with the inventory that we're having, also at the same time, governments realize this is actually a tax revenue, and they maintain this so-called 23% for the export tax. However, Indonesia are low, around 8 to 10%.
But it was reported that the Indonesian government and the Malaysian had agreed to set up a supply mechanism to stabilize these prices. So what do you think are they going to do with this?
Now, like it or not, this is the same situation that you get in US. The housing that you have. In 2007, before we have the financial crisis, people were just building houses and houses. Especially if you've ever been to Las Vegas or Florida, you will see houses being built in deserts. So we are having the same kind of situation. We have to wait, to wear out all the inventories. I don't think, worse you might have to do, dump some of the excessive oil.
Going for the famous word, subsidy.
Subsidy, yeah. Well,
do you think government will subsidy for oil palm? I think that would be a shame.
I don't think so. I mean, like it or not, oil palm, as long as, the cost of production per ton is still around 1,003 to 1,006. Okay. So it's not burdening a lot of.
It's still a profit.
It is. I mean, unless it breaks below the 2,000, then I would say that's a problem. But as far as it is, we have to, so-called, I heard they are going for replanting or a lot, especially the Felda Global Venture. I think there's a big portion of their trees above 20 to 25 years old, so they might want to just cut it down and replant that, so that way they will reduce the supply that is coming up to the market.
For the time being.
For the time being. This is something that I believe the prices that you have around the 2003 are just temporary, because we also have a peak harvest season that's coming up that gives up a lot of the so-called oversupply. Okay.
Now, it's interesting, how the futures market always is the preview of what the current spot market will be in the futures. So the futures market has came down, meaning the market are anticipating a lower prices for the CPO in the years to come.
But interestingly, surprisingly, let me say, although CPO prices have come down more than 20% from the old high, the plantation index only went down as low as only 4 to 5%.
So mention is quite resilient still.
It is. Or they haven't priced in yet, or perhaps the smart money knows this is only temporarily, or could be speculators are just pushing the price down so they can buy it cheap.
Okay. Talking about the futures market, both our equity market and futures market are both under the ambit of the Bursa Saham Kuala Lumpur.
MDX.
And then under the ambit of this Bursa Saham, also we have the dealers. We have fund managers that dealing, buying, selling stocks, and the licensing are being managed by SEG.
That's right.
So now, the interesting part about the SEG, they unveiled 2 new guidelines on stockbroking RAC. The Security Commission Malaysia has issued a guideline of registered person, which provides for 2 new classes of registered person, namely trading representative, which is the remiser as we know it, and introducing representative, which is introducing broker, which is quite rampant in the the currency market for IB. Now, the introduction of these 2 categories of registered person will widen the opportunities for fresh talent to join stockbroking industry and ensure sustainable growth of the industry, the SEG said in a statement. Now, how do you see by giving this new license to the introducing broker would enlarge the amount of activity and participation in the equity market?
Let me just go back a bit of history. Why is this being introduced? Now, you may know in the past, traditionally broking has been sort of remiser advising it. But at that time, a lot of the clients tend to have a face-to-face, or at least call them up. But over the years, there has been a headway of discount brokers coming up. Brokerage are going lower, not going higher. You can get even brokerage at 0.05. So what has happened is a lot of the traditional broking has taken place on the internet. Everything is done online. So brokers are facing crisis in here. They're not making enough income, although there are some who makes exceptionally good income from their bank because they provide a good service. So what has happened is that as more and more people going towards the internet, so there is a need to service this internet clientele platform. So this is where the so-called introducing representative, they will say, look, I got this and this services, we got a good broker can service it. So that's why there is a need in here. At the same time, it's because there is a need to also rise the level of the remiser, because remiser has been traditionally just dishing out analysts without, look, I got this super analyst for my company, he recommend this stock, take it home and read it. So client expect more. Client expect
more service.
More service, and why do you recommend to do this? And so
when looking at this point also, don't you think with the rates cut for the brokerage,
yes,
that itself with a smaller volume of trading, no matter how many people you put in, they still cannot make a living out of it.
That's right.
As is in the past. Now, what would be required in order to get people to go in? Because the retail market in the market is quite small now, comparison to back in when it was T+7, early 90s.
Yes.
Because people can buy a stock without having to pay the payment within 7 days. And sometimes they make money without having to come out money from the pocket, or they make the gain and get out of the market before T+7. So in the short term, the T to T+3, plus there is a low commissions given to brokers, I don't see Malaysia going to take off, because there are not many people are speculating about stocks anymore. So what are the changes that SC needs to make to increase this?
I think the introducing broker, it's something at the right way. I think a lot of the companies I do know, no securities you mentioned, they have what we call GRO. Right, and you all know stand for GRO. Right?
CRO or GRO?
It's like GRO, right?
It must be CRO.
It's CRO, client relational officer, but they are actually like guest relational officer. They treat them like a guest, you see.
Right.
So what this is, they've been servicing them, and you have to give service to the client. Now, very important. Let me just go back a bit more. Why retail investor or retail trader hasn't really been that big in Malaysia? Now, like it or not, based on my experience as a professional trader, and I conduct workshops and I teach people how to invest, a lot of time where people who come into this, who don't have a very disciplined so-called plan, as well as the
trading techniques,
financial goals, or whatever the case is, a lot of them tend to lose money.
Okay.
So, there's what we call a finite amount of money in there.
It has been a mentality of what, a herd mentality.
Exactly.
In the past.
So that's why I say. So the job of this was so-called, you call it an introducing broker or remiser, as well. I consider myself also as a dealer in the sense as an investment manager, is to make sure my client or my student come to me, protect their capital in a sense of able to grow it.
Very good. When you bring this point, that brings me to the next question, which is more about the business you're in.
That's right.
Now, Martin, why of all the names in the world, you choose TradersTruthReveal.com? It's just like a magic show, Magic Reveal.
It is.
Why you choose that name?
Very, very good question. Now, why I chose it is because when I started this, it was started as an educational blog. It is supposed
to. But you're an engineer by profession.
Yes, I'm an engineer by profession. As a profession. And I was an engineer. I was like all the retail and all the investor out there. And I was trying to figure out about the truth about the market. And I was a trader. So that's why you have Traders Truth Review. So we review the truth to the traders. That's how the website was started.
So what have you discovered along that journey?
So I have discovered the market is like it or not. And this is something you might not want to hear. The market is not created for your benefit, for the average investor benefit. It is created for the smart money benefit.
Okay.
So that is first thing you must know. It's not created for, the market was not created for you to make money. If for you to make money, you can just buy any stock.
Now, Martin, you actually have contributed yourself to what the SE is doing. The SE are giving all this CRO to bring the client individual to the market as a retail investor. And now you're saying, on the other hand, the truth about the capital market is that to help the smart money. Now, how can the public become smart money overnight?
So that's what I said. Like it or not, our Malaysian market, if you look at my educational, how I do it, and how we've been investing all over the years, we always have to pile on the side of where the edge is.
Yeah.
Now, CRO and all this GRO, they will always recommend to buy the most popular stocks, right? Now, like it or not, just look at the rationale behind. If everybody bought that stock, everybody has it, how is it going to go higher? How are you going to make money from it?
Well, to me, the stock market is very simple view. Somebody must go in, someone has to get up. It's like a musical chair. If the sound is good, everybody like that particular song, everybody wants to get a chair in that particular company.
That's right.
And somebody have to move up at the right price. Okay? So, if the music is no longer the flavor of the month, everybody wants to get up. And therefore, when you get up, there are people who are willing to go in again at a lower price. So, the classic case is you buy low, sell high. But in reality, most traders, they get in high and they never get out.
Exactly, they never get out. And so it is very important to know. Now remember, when I talk about smart money, it's not definitely one or two individuals in here. It could be a collections of very smart people who knows about it. I'll give you an example now. We do, if you look at some of the change in shareholder, we are seeing certain parties, foreigner, are starting to accumulate certain shares in Malaysia. They must have known something that most people don't. Now remember, this smart money would have all the resources that they have. They have all the analysts, they can in touch with the media, so they pretty much control it. And how we know about it, you can go to my website and find out. So they know something you don't know. Now our job as an investor, now remember, I'm teaching you to think like an average investor, because that's all you can ever be with the amount of money that you have. You have to do what an average investor do. You tag along with the smart money.
I see.
So when they buy low, you buy low. When they sell high, you sell high.
So in your business, basically you have a web.
That's right.
And that web, what does it say? Do you update it daily basis?
Yes,
to
yes,
give advice?
yes. I do.
Do you need license to do that?
No, I don't, because as I said before, this is educational. I don't provide any buy or sell stocks.
Okay.
I made it a claim is that I said this is an educational one. And remember, when I do workshops, like it or not, when you do the workshop and when you finish your workshop, there tend to be a lot of the students or whatever the case is, they tend to have no bearings. They don't know what to do after I attended the student. So what we do in the website, they're actually given a login and they're given a password where they actually follow my thought, how I see the market, how a professional investor and an investment manager look at the market and how we invest. So by following my thoughts for a period of time, they will know how it works, and from then onward they will understand it, because that's most important. If I want,
how do you monetize this thing on your web?
Or how do I monetize? I make it like a membership.
Oh, that's
like
a membership.
Yeah.
How much you have to pay to get in?
I currently charge about 99 ringgit a month, right? Okay. So people can opt for it, and in there I'll give educational video that they can download it, they can watch it.
Okay.
And the followings.
All right. So that's how you monetize this from the people. Now, I believe you do help out some, you're attached to one of the companies.
Yes, yes.
One of the stockbroker in the house, and then you do give some kind of a fund management expertise.
Yes, advice.
On a personal basis that with them.
That's
and
correct.
Do you base on a fee, or is it based on profit sharing?
Now, what I do is that we do some sort of a private arrangement of funds. Okay. And we charge on performance fees. That's about it. So as an investment manager, we only make money when we make money for the client. And to me, I think that's very fair. And if they
fair to you, or is that fair for the client, Martin?
Fair,
the client never wants to pay anything, if possible.
Of course, the client will never pay. But if we can help them to perform, right? If you look at it, the last 8 years, my returns has been around 12 to 14% returns. So even in the bad year in 2008, we only lost.
You hold that thought of your performance, because I'm going to go into more into it after this commercial break. So we shall take a bit of we're getting a little bit of a commercial break. And if you have any comment, please tweet or email to us at capitaltv.com.my. We shall return.